Well, let's get this party started.
All right, welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm here with
Barely Alive Q.
Barely Alive Q, and on Skype,
the Super Builder Blood Axe.
All right. Let me scoot us over here. I think that looks better. Yeah, I'm doing a little stuff on the fly here today because, well, we've been off and on for a bit with the cons and Easter and all this stuff, so I guess we're back today, so let's jump into it. First off, let's see what we got here. Now I'm probably pronouncing this wrong. It's either David Jaffe or David Gaff. I
think it's David Jaffe, but
Jaffe. Oh well,
the creator of I don't know where you got Gaff. There's no G.
I don't know, man. I mean, people say GIF for JIF, so.
They do?
Or no, they say GIF for GIF.
That's not the way that works, though. That's a J, so you're reversing that.
Maybe, no, I am reversing it. You know what? Fuck you. Let's talk about this.
I can't. You get that one. You know what? You get that one because you may have saved my life yesterday. So, just to quantify the earlier statement, I got so sick, and Zeno had to go get me emergency supplies from food poisoning. So
yeah.
If I look like I'm not doing that well, it's because I'm recovering.
All right, so David Jaffe,
the creator of Twisted Metal.
Creator of Twisted Metal says he turned down offer of over $100 million from TenCent because I want nothing to do with them. He goes on to talk about TenCent being a Chinese company,
and he gets pretty intense.
And not liking how the government there is with certain things.
Oh, that's how it started, but it kept going.
Yeah, it does keep going. I mean, this is something we've talked about TenCent before, and just their general practices and strong arming a lot of companies, and also their information handling. For one of the major things that we have an issue with has been some of the information handling, but it's nice to see somebody stand their ground, I guess. I mean, I would love to see another Twisted Metal. I know you had mentioned that as well.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if Blood Axe, since you said you didn't really do it, but Twisted Metal Black Blood Axe, do you remember that? Twisted Metal Black was huge back in the day, man. It was the car combat game, and I mean, we played that thing like massively. And I actually watched some stuff recently where they were talking about they were considering trying to make another Twisted Metal. I'd love it. I mean, Twisted Metal Black was huge, and but I'm glad that it's not going to be an Epic exclusive, because like if TenCent had bought it, Twisted Metal was not a PC game. Like, it was, in a sense of it, I don't mean as in computer. I mean, it was a very violent, over-the-top game. I mean, it was heavy metal rock style, dark, violent game. And we know how TenCent tends to whitewash stuff. And we also know that they are very strongly tied to the Chinese government, which means it's going to have to be made appropriate. So it would have been heavily tampered with if they got their mitts on this franchise. And if I had to choose between getting another Twisted Metal game, but it's TenCentified, or not getting one, I'd rather have my good memories of Twisted Metal Black. What do you think, Blood Axe?
Well, Twisted Metal was one of the first games where you actually wanted to go through and see every single character's ending.
Absolutely.
To see what their wish was going to be by winning the competition. I mean, Street Fighter, I beat it with most of the characters, but it was like, a couple I didn't care about. But this one, I was like, I really wanted to know what everybody wanted, especially Sweet Tooth, because that was everyone's favorite character. But I usually played the Indy race car. I can't remember the character's name. But I PlayStation, my brother did. So when I would come back to visit, sometimes that's when I would play Twisted Metal. So. But I would love to see a newer, updated version of it to see what they could do. But I do want just like with anything else, I want whoever does the developing of the property to honor what the players and the fans of the games historically have enjoyed.
Mhm.
Stay true to what's been canonized already, and not twisted or contorted or just have a blatant money grab. And that's one of the things I've always been concerned with, is to make sure that you are that you stay true to what the fans' expectations are. Twists, that's fine, but at least have the core mechanics and the core themes be static. That's what I would like.
Oh yeah, and so I mean, on top of this, now there has been accusations that he's making shit up because everything is which I mean, I guess it's still a possibility. He did post a email response, but then of course a lot of people were like, "Well, that can be faked." So the story goes a lot deeper. But it's
those
something.
Are TenCent fanboys, because I mean,
Yeah.
you have no reason to accuse somebody of lying with no evidence unless you're a fanboy. I mean, maybe he is, but for people to jump to that immediately, it just tells me they're TenCent and Epic fanboys.
I mean, I guess in certain crowds this does them some favors, but in general, this doesn't really do you any favors talking up against TenCent right now.
Yeah, I mean,
we're talking about TenCent, like this mentions here. TenCent has a 40% stake in Epic Games, holds shares in Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft, PUBG Studios, Krafton, Platinum Games, Marvelous Incorporated, Playtonic Games, as well as, big in the WeChat, and has their fingers in several other things as well. So I mean, this isn't one of those things where this is doing you really a lot of good.
Yeah, lying about this isn't a good business move, because while it earns like props for people like us, we don't have no money.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, it's a case of, well, like I said, also for that to be the instant reaction, I just think it goes back to the fact that there are a lot of people out there that like, it's weird that there are actual companies that have fans. Companies, not games, companies where people are fanboys of a company. Yeah. And I don't understand that, because we're not fans anymore. As much as I love Game Pass or Microsoft and I preach it, that it's a good purchase. I mean, I'm not a fanboy of Microsoft. Microsoft's full of shit.
As soon as Game Pass isn't worth the money anymore,
we will be all over it.
But for right now, it is worth the money.
I mean, I swore by PlayStation before they pissed me off, and then the second they pissed me off, I was like, F them. I have no loyalty to a corporation. Corporations are by default evil. You know what I'm saying? Just because they have to be. Yeah. Well, no, in their defense, though, it's because that's how business works. I mean, I'm not one of those anti-capitalists, but don't ever trust a company. Like, you don't ever trust a company on a moral standpoint. Yeah. That's dumb.
Well, and I mean, I don't know how informed David is on stuff. I did look at his Twitter, and he fanboys a bit on some PlayStation stuff, and which is to me.
They're not TenCent, but they are close. It's they're both deep into Epic.
They're TenCent adjacent.
Yeah, they're both deep into Epic. But wow, man, TenCent's 40% in. That's even more than I thought they did. Man, TenCent does own effing Epic. Man, Epic's full of how's it amazing this still turned into a fuck Epic story? Because I just found out they own even more of Epic than I thought. I thought they were like 20 or 30, but 40% means they might as well own Epic. Yeah, well, do you think anyone else has more than 40%?
I mean, I think Epic does.
You sure?
I think
Are you sure? Because most of the way they do stock, I bet you Epic doesn't have 40.
I don't know. I don't know. Actually, Sony bought a pretty big chunk too. Yes. So, I doubt they do.
Go ahead, man.
Yes. Yeah, but 40% would probably be the majority ownership of the company. I would wager a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
And if it isn't, it's so big that they still carry way too much weight. Like 40% is nearly half, even if Epic owns 55%, which I know is not the case because I think Sony owns 10. Like, I actually think Sony owns at least 10. So 50%. Okay, it says 50% Tim Sweeney. So he's at 50%.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still enough. Yeah, they got 48.4%, which is 40% of the total Epic company. So they're literally only 10% off from Sweeney. And I think Sony has that 10. I think Sony has the 10%. But you know what that means? That means if Sony.
Yeah, I don't know if Sony actually owns any of Epic.
Oh, they're
or
not
if
showing it
just,
there.
or if they're just tied. They have some deals, but
They may be tied into certain parts and not the
Yeah.
overall company. But still, 40 versus 50 is so close. I mean, that's still a lot of speaking power, man.
Oh yeah,
That's a huge vote. Like, Tim Sweeney has to be willing to go head-to-head with TenCent over something, which he's obviously not. He sold him 40% of his freaking company. But, yeesh. And the thing is, who has that 10%? Because what if TenCent gets that 10%?
but yeah,
Then they become co-owners. So, there you go. But, like, 40% is massive.
well, it says Tim Sweeney owns greater than 50%, which means he probably owns like 50.0 something.
Just to
to
barely
make
enough.
sure.
Yeah. I'll give him that much, but I don't trust Tim Sweeney.
Yeah,
Old
All right.
Sweeney ain't got my vote of confidence.
yeah.
I trust Elon Musk more than I do Sweeney.
Nice to have Blood Axe on the show today, and
I made it through the whole
chat
show.
room.
I didn't think I would.
Yeah. No, we weren't sure if you were gonna make it, but you made it. All right,
Barely.
guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check us out on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. YouTube, where you can like and subscribe. We also have in our YouTube descriptions and on our Facebook, we have a link to our Discord page. So if you want to join that and throw out ideas for things you want to hear us talk about, games you want to see us play, it's a great place to go and do that. We have channels for all that different stuff, and I've been working on cleaning up the Discord and setting up the rules and all that stuff. And
We have rules?
yeah. Rule number 2: don't be a dick.
That's a
That's
pretty
why
good
I'm
rule.
not in Discord.
Apparently, we're exempt to that rule.
Well, there's levels of dick,
That's what she
I
said.
may be a dick, but I'm 100% asshole. So
All
there you
right,
go.
guys. Thanks for watching this every week.
We hope you enjoy.
Just a player, just a player, just a player, play the damn game.
That's what you can do when you have a reputation, but nobody trusts Disney. Did Disney tell you something, you're going to immediately go, let me go check that. Or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say them in particular. Large corporations that have not fostered a trustworthy reputation, you don't immediately believe what they say. They don't have your trust. You doubt them, you double check them. When a movie comes out from these big companies, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you were going to be quick. Remember, I just wanted to remind you.
Yeah, I'm done.